Welcome to the Sports Card Talk Show. Sports Card Talk Show with Kevin Anderson and Lauren Walker, the Skol Brothers.
Welcome to episode 60 of the Sports Card Talk Show. Monday Mount Rushmore action going on tonight. Who do we got going tonight?
It is Jack at SunsFan8 on Instagram. Super awesome page. Looks like the ultimate Cardinals fan. So.
Right, yeah. So Cardinals it is tonight, huh?
It is the Arizona Cardinals.
Right. Should be good. Like you said, he's got a pretty great page, man.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. It's awesome. Excited to get him on the phone.
Ring-a-ling ding-dong.
All right, we got Jack on the line at SunsFan8 on Instagram. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
And that is Jack, J-A-K.
That it is.
I would say, I don't know, less than 20 years ago, the PlayStation 2 came out, and I remember going to GameStop with my kid, who was probably about 5, 6, 7 years old, and was completely blown away with the game Jak and Daxter.
Yep.
And
I knew it.
I just wondered if your mom and dad were fans of the game, and that's why your name's spelt that way, or.
It's just been what I've gone by my entire life. It's funny. I was born before the Jak and Daxter game. I had it growing up, and I thought it was so cool that finally, like, a character for me.
Yeah,
one
right.
Without the C in his name, they understand me. That was fun as a kid. I could never play that game, though. That was in the stage where I was too bad at video games. I couldn't get past the first level.
Oh, so you actually had Lauren digging through his boxes. So
Yep.
So you'll enjoy the video when you see it.
I had to go. I had to dig
to
through
it.
my old PlayStation 2 box, go find that, and dig that game out. Love that game.
Oh, back then, PS2, one of the best.
Yep.
Absolutely. So how about we talk about your Cardinals? Looks like you got a chance to go to a game and had some fun experiences. You want to talk about that?
So basically, every year, me and my family, we flew down this year just because of work conflict, and I had to get up at like 4 a.m. Sunday. No, yeah, that is yesterday. What am I talking about?
Right.
You can tell I'm sleep deprived already.
Right.
We got up at 4 a.m. to fly over to Arizona because I'm from California, so we flew to Arizona, went to the game, and after the game, we're good friends with the head trainer for Arizona Cardinals, and with that, we were able to get the friends and family passes to where after the game, there's a gathering section about where the players come in and when they leave. And there's a little section where friends and family just shake hands with the players, talk to them, that kind of thing post-game. And when I was there, guys like Patrick Peterson, Christian Kirk, Larry Fitzgerald, Odell Beckham, they were there. They didn't take photos, though, because obviously like they were so busy and they just wanted to get home and things like that. But a lot of the players just came over. I got to take photos with Peterson, Kirk, and Cassius Marsh, who actually went to my old high school. So that's how I know him.
Oh, cool.
And,
Nice.
Yeah. No, that was really cool of him to be on the team I root for, to have an alumni to be on my favorite team. So that was pretty nice.
Yeah.
And it was funny too. Afterwards, there's a Dave & Buster's just like across the road. And when I went there, like some of the players were there. And I'm a super Andy Isabella collector. I absolutely love the kid. And he was like right behind me, like when I was playing Dance Dance Revolution, and I was having such a fangirl moment at that time. It's like, the Andy Isabella's watching me play Dance Dance Revolution.
Fun.
But yeah, everyone was super nice. Patrick Peterson is such a nice guy. Absolutely great to be around. Kirk was so nice. Marsh was so nice. It was just a great. There was no mean person there, which is always nice to see as a fan of a team. Like, I had no unpleasant experience with anyone there.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So, should we jump into your our honorable mentions and Mount Rushmore? We'll get it started up with
I'll start with the honorable mentions.
Yeah.
I'll start with the honorable because it was tough. I wanted to go 2 old school and 2 new school, And being from this generation, you had to dig back with the old school players. And I also wanted to go 2 offense, 2 defense. I thought that was fitting for something like this.
Yeah.
And it's tough with the Cardinals because they have rich history. There's just a gap in the middle where there's not much happening. In the beginning with when Chicago Cardinals and St. Louis Cardinals, there's a lot of Hall of Fame talent, people who just changed the game at the time. But then you get to like the 70s and 80s, and then the talent just kind of dries up. But then you get to the 90s, the 2000s, and it comes back. So I had to just basically skip a couple decades of Arizona history because there's just not much to talk about.
Sure.
But the guys I was thinking about, I was really close to putting Larry Wilson, Roger Worley, Ioannis Williams, guys like that. I really wanted to put Kurt Warner in. If Kurt Warner won the Super Bowl in 2008, he would be on, without a doubt. He just Santonio Holmes, man.
Yeah.
It hurts. There's no sadder feeling in life to have the team with the across any major sport, the longest championship drought, and you came that close. You were 30 seconds away. It still haunts me.
Right.
But Carson Palmer, also think about. I wanted to put Anquan Bolden on there too. Who I think Ernie Nevers, way back when. That's a black and white era type player.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that does it for the honorable mentions. There's a lot of the old school talent was there for us. I mean, we won a good amount of championships before there was a Super Bowl, but when the Super Bowl came around, it just flatlined.
Yep.
Yeah, it's tough. I love the team, but it's tough.
Right.
I just want to win one championship. Once that happens, I retire. I ride into the sunset. I'm happy. I've experienced the best there is to experience. I call it quits. Just one.
I feel you, man.
Oh, yes.
My folks got to see the Vikings in their heyday in the 70s go to several Super Bowls. I still haven't even got to see the Vikings make it to a Super Bowl yet. So,
hey, they look good this year, though. Honestly, if Cousins can play like the way he can play, you guys are going to be fine.
Yeah, but the thing is there's so many good teams in the NFC. It's gonna be a dogfight to get out of the NFC this year.
Oh, trust me, my team's in the NFC West. How do you think I feel? Everyone's out here with Super Bowl hopes, and I'm just trying to win 5 games.
Yeah,
like I'm happy with 5 games at this point.
That's tough, yeah.
And you got the Niners, the Seahawks, and the Rams all in the same division as you, and you have to play them 6 times total.
Oh yeah,
it's an uphill battle.
You're going, man. Why can't we be back in the NFC East again?
I will take the NFC East. 2 7-7 teams are playing for the playoffs. That's
right.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Oh, yes.
Oh, it's tough. I back, what was it, 2013, when the Packers they had a home playoff game with 9 wins, and we missed the playoffs with 10 wins. Mm-hmm. I hate the playoff format like that. I don't think you should get into the playoffs because you're in a bad division.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
That one hurt.
Oh, yes.
But anyways, with Mount Rushmore, let's get into it.
Sure.
Okay, I'm just gonna start off with the obvious one in Larry Fitzgerald, because if he's not on there, I'm insane.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be a homer and say he's the best wide receiver of all time, because to me that's Randy Moss. But I will say he deserves to be in the conversation. If you don't put him in the conversation, that's also insane. I mean, he's pretty much second in everything right now except touchdowns. It's tough. Again, I keep saying it's tough, but if he had actual quarterbacks his entire career, he'd be up there. He'd be close to Jerry Rice and things like that. But you look at the quarterbacks he's played with so many in such little time, and he can't get into a system. And the quarterbacks he has played with, like Ryan Windley, John Skelton, Josh McCown, guys like Logan Thomas that one game.
Right.
It's hard to. A receiver is only as good as their quarterback. If a quarterback can't get a receiver the ball, there's not much a receiver can do.
It's funny you bring up Logan Thomas, because you do know that he's playing tight end for the Lions now, right?
I do now.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
He became such a meme within like my friend group because the meme was he's the GOAT because he's the only quarterback ever. Every completion he has made as a quarterback, a starting quarterback, has been for an 81-yard touchdown. Nobody's ever done that before. Greatest to ever do it.
Wow.
So whenever he scores now, I get so happy. I root for him. He's a cool guy too. I wish he did better.
Right.
He should have started in that 2014 playoff game. Ryan Windley should not start for any football team. That was.
I don't even know who that is.
So he was statistically the worst quarterback of all time, which is why he played for the Arizona Cardinals.
Even worse than Nathan Peterman?
Even worse than Nathan Peterman.
Oh my goodness.
Because at least Peterman got the ball to his receivers sometimes. Ryan Windley just missed. In that playoff games against Carolina, I think he had something like 80 yards.
Wow.
The entire game.
Wow.
Yeah. You're not going to win playing like that. I think the most defeated I've ever felt was we're trying to come back that game. Like, brink of despair. We're almost there. We get an interception. Things are looking up. Everything's going right for us just for this one moment. Very next play, throws an interception. Very next play. I'm like, boy. Okay, back to my phone.
That just goes to speak how good Larry was, though.
Yeah,
no, Larry is you watch him play. It's absolutely amazing what he does. The catches he's had to make, the fact that he never gets hurt despite taking all these shots, and his run blocking ability. Nobody ever talks about that with wide receivers. His run blocking ability is fantastic.
Yep.
He's this big body receiver that can just push a cornerback down and free open a lane. That's why he moved to the slot under Arian's system, just so he can move towards the middle and just open up holes.
Do you know that he was a ball boy for the?
I do.
Yeah, so he learned he probably got some pointers from Chris and Randy back in the day.
No, thank you guys for raising him right.
Yeah. His dad, I think, is a sports writer, or was a sports writer in the Twin Cities for quite a while. I don't know if he still is or not. He might be retired by now, but yeah, Larry is born and bred Minnesota.
Yeah. I'm thankful he stayed over here, honestly. It became, after 2014, every year was like, is it his last? Is it his last? And he keeps coming back just because he loves the franchise.
Yeah, and that's what I like about him, too. You know, he could have easily went and chased a title or anything like that, but, you know, he just, the workmanlike and this is where I'm at. This is my team.
The Minnesota fan pages is this the year Larry comes home? Is this the year?
Yeah.
Every year Minnesota Viking fans were clamoring for Larry to come back to Minnesota to finish out his career. So you got to respect. I think it's awesome when a player wears this one uniform for their whole career, and Larry's doing that.
Oh, especially too at the end of the career, the Cardinals were literally the worst team in the league last year, and he came back. You have to appreciate it. There's no way you can't appreciate that.
Right.
So I'm so thankful, especially every year. It's like, oh, should we trade him? No, don't.
Right.
He means too much to the city. The city would never forgive the organization if you traded the player that's been through there this entire time.
Right.
So, yeah, if I don't put him on Mount Rushmore, what am I doing as a Cardinals fan?
Yeah.
Let me think. All right, next one. It was I want to put a quarterback on there, and that one was probably the toughest for me. So I want to get that out of the way. I go from easiest to toughest. And for quarterback, I went Charlie Trippy for quarterback just because I feel like he was the most accomplished within the program. He's the one quarterback that's won titles with us. He was a Hall of Famer, and it was all with us too. Warner was very good. He's one of the best playoff quarterbacks of all time, but a lot of his accomplishments came as a Ram. So I don't feel like it's tough to put him on the Mount Rushmore for the Cardinals when his Super Bowl, his MVP, things like that, they all came as a Ram. Right. Which made it kind of tricky. Yeah. But if he won the Super Bowl, Warner. Because you brought a Super Bowl to the team that has never won a Super Bowl. That's amazing.
I think he solidified his Hall of Fame credentials by making it to the Super Bowl with the Cardinals for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially when he went to New York, everyone thought he was washed up.
Yep.
The Cardinals have this great talent of getting people who just don't want to be where they're at for steals. We got Palmer for a 6th round. We got Warner for dirt cheap. We got Kenyon Drake for a 6th rounder. We got Adrian Peterson for a 7th.
Yep.
And they all show up when they get here.
Don't bring up Kenyon Drake. He absolutely sunk.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Sunk our fantasy football team this weekend, along with Lamar Jackson.
Oh, I was playing against him too. I know that. I was playing. I'm in 3 leagues. I made the playoffs in all 3 leagues. I'm playing against Miles Sanders in all 3 leagues.
Man.
Miles Sanders sunk. Actually, Kenyon Drake sunk my team, and Miles Sanders sunk our team along with Lamar Jackson. That's what it was.
Yep.
Yeah, Miles.
I'm clinging on to dear life because in 1 week, the league where I have the most money invested, I'm down by like 5 right now, and he has Brissett, and I have Will Lutz. So I'm just hoping. I'm slowly coming back. I believe. Colts aren't playing well, and Lutz is out there.
Yeah.
They kick 2 more field goals, I win. I'm holding so much hope because my team played well. I was just down 30 points going into this week. It's the 2-week system.
Oh, okay.
In this league, and I just had to come back from a huge deficit right off the bat. And if I somehow pull this out, I'm going to be so thankful. But yeah, I feel like Charlie Trippi is the most accomplished of the Arizona quarterbacks, so you got to put him on the list for that.
Is he? What era did he play in?
He's pre-Super Bowl. He's way back when Chicago Cardinals.
Okay,
era.
The Chicago Cardinals.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. Like he was black and white and like no TV era type of football.
Sure.
But just for like getting the start to the franchise, winning a championship, what's it called? An NFL championship? It's not a Super Bowl, but whatever
I think it was called the NFL championship back in those days.
Yeah. I don't want to say it with pure confidence and be wrong on a podcast.
It's all right. We do that all the time.
All right.
That's pretty cool, though, like, going back in the history, isn't it? Like, finding out about stuff. We really enjoy that about this Mount Rushmore episodes.
Especially the Cardinals are one of the oldest teams in the league. There's so much history behind them that I find it really interesting.
Yeah.
The longer you play, the more players you have, the more you can talk about, that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So might as well stick old school for the third one. Another one that was tough for me. I feel like I'm contradicting myself with this one because I said I didn't put Warner on the list because he did more as a Ram. But I put Night Train Wayne on this list just because I feel like at the time he kind of revolutionized the cornerback position and was the best in the league at the time. Because he is a cornerback that not only can cover, but he can knock you down on your back too. And at the time, that wasn't really a thing. I compare him to like a modern day Jalen Ramsey, but just less of a team headache.
Yeah, he actually made our Detroit Lions Mount Rushmore back.
That makes sense. That makes sense. No, he did very well for both. It was I had Larry Wilson originally instead of Night Train, but then I looked at the stats. I went over, and I just thought Night Train had just a higher peak. I just thought he was better per position than Larry Wilson was as a safety, because Larry Wilson was a phenomenal talent. They put him on the All 100 team, but I just think Night Train just had better talent overall. Especially just the way, like I said, every Madden player will know, like, he can hit, which not a lot of cornerbacks can do.
Right.
Yeah, he's oh man, he did he play like 5 years for the Cardinals and was a Pro Bowler or All Pro all 5 years?
I think 5 or 6 around there.
Yeah,
Pretty much half and half.
Yeah.
Also, another reason his rookie card was as a Cardinal. I think that's just an iconic card. That set. That was
cool.
good. Yeah, you know the Bart Starr rookie, like the one like it's horizontal, like orange on one side, I think green on the other. It's from that same year.
Okay.
And that's just an iconic looking card to me too. That's another reason I put him on the list. I just have a better Night Train Lane card than I do a Larry Wilson card.
Nice.
Easier to show.
Oh, that's funny.
Old time defenders in general don't get good cards, and I hate it.
Yeah.
Like, it's tough. I get it. Like, quarterbacks sell, running backs sometimes sell, and wide receivers, if they're Michael Thomas, sell. But no, defenders, it's a tough market for defenders, which I don't like, because I feel some of the best defenders get shorted off lists. Like, Roger Worley got his first autos and products in years this year. And you can get one for like $5.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a really cool thing about if you're not collecting the quarterbacks. And if you go old school, if you go into the you can get so many Hall of Fame autograph cards for, like you said, just $5, $10, $50. You're not having to drop a couple Benjamins to get a quarterback autograph, you know.
But like guys like Jarrett Stidham and Easton Stick are going for the same price as like Larry Wilson and Roger Worley.
Yeah,
I don't understand. I get because it's mostly investing with those guys. Buy low, sell high. If Stidham becomes the next Brady under the Patriot system, then you got yourself a gold mine. But you're paying this much for guys who've either never set foot on the field or set foot when there's like 5 minutes left and it's a 40-point game.
Right.
Over these guys who are in the Hall of Fame for being very good at football.
Yeah, and if you look at the old school guys' autographs too, they you can read what their name is on the card versus looks like cat scratch fever on the young guys' cards. So it's like perfect. So it looks like perfect penmanship that you were taught in grade school, kind of signatures on the old school guys' cards.
I honestly don't blame the athletes, though. I blame the card companies for making them sign like 100,000 stickers a year.
Yeah.
There's a story, I think it was TJ Graham. He was an old Bills rookie wide receiver. He talked about how he gets paid, I think it was like $3.50 a sticker. And so he just sit down, get to work signing as many as he could, and then get on with his day. Because for those guys who aren't sure if they're going to be in the league for a while, it's a payday for them.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, if you get $3 for 5 seconds of work, you'll take that.
Right.
Give me a roll of stickers. Give me lots of them.
Who do they just ship stickers out to these guys? And
yeah.
They're just like, all right, get to work.
Yep.
But that's why the market's weird to me. Because you look over the Hall of Fame type players and you go for the young rooks who will probably never do anything. I get the rookies who are like Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones, Josh Jacobs, the guys who are on the field and like potential Rookie of the Year candidates. But I don't get the guy who like Easton Stick, Jarrett Stidham, things like that. Unless if it's like they went to the same college as me. With Easton Stick, I know he has a big North Dakota following. So I get that.
Sure.
It just, I want more love for the older players, which why I wanted to add two to this.
Yeah. Cool.
And finally, you were talking about the Night Train Lane being on every pro or 5-time Pro Bowl or All Pro. That's why I chose Patrick Peterson for the last one. Because every year before this year, sadly, he can't make it because of suspension. But every year before this, he's been a Pro Bowler. As a returner, his rookie year, but still, every year after that, it's been for his natural position at corner. So I think that's absolutely amazing that before this season, he never missed the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Cornerbacks are tough to judge because there's always a fight about who's the best in the league. I think it's kind of died down because there's no standout. But I firmly believe for a while Patrick Peterson was the best in the league. Just purely off stats, purely off they did not throw to him. Whoever was being covered by Peterson, they just choose not to throw to him, and you rarely see that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Especially once he had an issue with diabetes, but once he got that checked out, got on a diet, just fixed that type of issue. You could see when he had the diabetes, he was kind of puffy, like he was moving a bit lethargic. But then when he fixed that, he was lean, he was fast, and nobody could catch a ball on him.
Right. Yeah, I remember those days.
No, he's an absolutely phenomenal talent. And like I said before, he absolutely nice guy. Absolutely. Like, he is electric. If you're around him, you can't help but smile.
Oh, that's awesome.
No,
that's
absolutely.
even better when, you look up to him as a player and then you get a chance to meet him and it's not a brush you off type of attitude, just a nice dude.
No, exactly. When I was
cool.
taking my photo with him yesterday, he made sure that the photo would be good. Like, he wanted to make sure that we were all. My mom was with me too. She wanted to get in, and he made sure that all of us were involved, and it was a good photo.
Oh, nice.
And I was super thankful for that. It reminded me. I went to a Devin Booker signing a couple years ago. He is also such a chill guy, such a nice guy. And when I was getting the autograph, he wanted to make sure he did it right. So he specifically said, you want it here, you want it here. He made sure the pen was okay, then signed it, and just smiled for the camera. And it's such a relief when athletes you look up to are genuinely nice people in real life.
Yeah.
So I guess I got a question for you. You said you flew there from California. Or what's your connection to Arizona that you're fans of the Suns and the Cardinals?
Well, when I was a kid, the Suns were my favorite team to watch, without a doubt. That's what really got me into sports in general. The 7 seconds or less Steve Nash era Suns.
Okay, yeah.
They were so much fun to watch in person, on TV, whatever. They just made basketball fun.
I really love Steve Nash as a player too.
Oh, absolutely my favorite player of all time. When you think about favorite player of all time for me, I don't even have to second guess Steve Nash right away.
Oh, nice.
Just what he did for the franchise, I cannot thank him enough. You see, when he left, like Steve Nash, everyone gets on him for his 2 MVPs, like, oh, Kobe should have won it, or something like that. Look at the franchise once he left.
Right.
What do we have not made the playoffs since he left? Not a single time.
Right.
I definitely, like, hindsight makes me think that, yeah, Kobe kind of maybe got jacked on a couple of those, but the deal with that is that Steve was a much more likable person than Kobe at the time, too.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So I think that played into that for sure. But yeah, Steve Nash was so much fun to watch, and he was such a cool guy to root for, too.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely was happy Steve won those over Kobe. But when I look back on basketball history, I honestly feel like Kobe's the most comparable player to Michael than LeBron. Everyone wants to talk about LeBron versus Michael. I think the conversation be Kobe versus Michael, and Michael still wins.
Yeah, of course. No, MJ will always be the GOAT to me, purely because, 2 reasons. One, the era, 90s basketball, was so much harder than 2000s or 2010s basketball. And 2, he didn't try, and he was still that good. That's the thing. Like, he'd show up to games drunk sometimes. He'd shoot free throws with his eyes closed. Like, when people pissed him off, like, oh, you can't shoot, he'd just start shooting threes, and then he'd start making them just to prove a point. Like, Jordan will forever be the best, just all around, too. Underrated defender. Nobody talks about his defense.
Did I send you that post yesterday? And it was a picture of, I think it was Harden shooting a 3-pointer, and the defender is like going like this.
I saw that one.
And then it showed Michael, and he's surrounded by like 4 Knicks just ready to destroy him, and they're like, back when they played defense or something, like, was the post or something like that. Is there any argument who's the best or something? Or
exactly.
Yeah, Michael.
I make it.
Michael, when he went in the lane, he paid for it. Like, I was a Detroit Pistons fan, And the Jordan rules were Jordan didn't get anything for free. The Pistons punished him for it, and the Knicks continued that deal after that. So,
Well, Embiid would just elbow people in the face, and you get away with it.
Yep.
Now, anytime someone falls down from three, you go to the line. I hate Houston basketball so much. Steph Curry does this too. Whoever just jumps into a defender while shooting a three, if you don't play for the basket, you play for the foul. That's bad for basketball, in my opinion. Yeah. If you're actively not looking to abide by the rules, and you're just trying to make your own rules as you go along, that's bad basketball.
Yeah. I have purposely avoided the conversation because, Lauren likes to welcome the negative comments, but I have purposely not watched basketball for a lot of years because I can't stand watching.
So heated. People get
I know. Well, and all this, Klay Thompson's knee was probably hurt before he did this, but when he went up for that shot and kicked his legs out to try and get a foul and came down funny on his knee, I'm like, well, you idiot. Quit trying to kick the defender. You guys are trying to get these cheap fouls. Oh.
I hate Golden State, but I like Klay. Just he seems like a very chill dude, and the ability to just shoot from wherever without dribbling, that's amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
But that was a cheap move. Just stick out your legs and hope for a foul.
Well, yeah. Well, man, do we have anything else? We're totally going on other stuff, which is awesome. But we were talking about the Cardinals. Was there?
Yeah, it turned into I hate Houston. I'm on board.
Do you have? I think we got through the Mount Rushmore, right? Yep, yeah. And we got the honorable mention. I think it was good, man, and I think you did a great job.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, and we'll definitely be in touch. We do other types of episodes. Hopefully, be willing to come back and join us, and we can chit chat a little more. And
yeah, for sure. Hopefully, I can actually get my computer to work next time because I have no idea what's going on. I'm so sorry.
That's all good, man. Try the router. I'm telling you.
It's Spectrum, man. They hate us all.
Oh man. Well. You take care. We're going to bring this episode to a close. If you want to hang on the phone for 1 second, we'll just talk to you for a minute off camera. That'll bring episode 60, Monday Mount Rushmore, Cardinal version with Jack at SunsFan8 on Instagram.
Skol Brothers out.